What is the significance of waltes to Mi'kmaq?
Yeah.
There's a lot of really, really good reasons why we have waltes. It's mostly for communication, exercise, cooperation. It's a little bit of everything. It's something that our people, young people, should pass on to their people that are coming. We passed it on already to our people. Now it's their turn, your turn.
Yeah.
Really, your turn to do all this other stuff we've been doing, just to keep it alive. Because if we don't have waltes, and if we can't speak our language, we're going to try to do it with playing a game. Like children pick it up right away. Just have a few games with them and you tell them the parts of it and they'll catch on. And they will be saying it the way it's supposed to be said. And they'll be knowing the parts. Like if I tried teaching junior high, they speak mostly Mi'kmaq first time. Now they're not. There's a lot of English in our classes. And even just the parts of the waltes, we have a hard time teaching them. They don't want to say it, they're shy, and they have to be proud first before we can help them. I started playing waltes, but we didn't have any electricity in our home. And we had games like cards, any playing outside. And when it was raining or storming or anything, we'd be playing inside. And these would be one of the games we'd be playing, either pick up sticks or waltes. And that's where we learned how to play.
What is your favorite memory of playing waltes?
Must have been when I was about 4. And the really, really thing I always remember is the game that lasts 7 hours. 7 hours for one game. It was a championship game. And it went on for 7 hours. We even had to take little breaks every now and then.
What does that memory stick out to you?
Being with elders and children and adults, they're all playing. It's not a game for an elder, just an elder. It's a game that an elder and a child, or a child and a teenager, anybody can play. Man, woman, doesn't matter.
What is your favorite thing about waltes?
Family, being with family. We weren't allowed to play the game. I don't even know if we're still allowed to play the game. But it's a game that we used to play, but if a car came to our house, we'd hide the board because they would take it and seize it. And we tried to hide it and keep it. It was under, really. We played it under. And it's a game where you get to teach the kids. You're with the kids, even just the counting sticks and the parts of that. The kids don't know the parts of it. And now the kids in kindergarten, they know parts of the waltes. They know how to count in Mi'kmaq because they go to immersion. And once they go to the immersion school, the kids are so smart because they come to the other classes now, and it's like having to say Miigwech and spell it, and now it's only 3 words, R-E-D, read. And it's so simple for them now to catch on right away with English once they come from immersion. And it's like waltes, the same thing. It's the board. I can teach you the board and teach you all the English parts of it, but I don't really. I usually say them in Mi'kmaq because that's how I was taught. And I'd like to have kids do that more in classrooms, more at home, And I'd like have more teachers, even just having it for the kids to play and have championships. Because we have them at summer games, we have them at winter carnivals, we have them at any any place where people are gathering. We usually bring out the waltes. It's a game that makes you think. Like before, they just was just a game. They had people thinking for them and writing. They don't hear. I have them now. They're counting for themselves. When they get stuck, they ask me, and it's enjoyable just seeing them just growing in our culture. And I know they'll be passing it on to their children or even their parents.
Do you think the youth should be involved in the culture a little more?
I think they should be involved from day one. From day one. I always, especially when kids are speaking English, they said, I can't speak any other language. English is all spoken in my house. I said, we have so many apps. We have people everywhere. We can go visit an elder that doesn't even speak English. If you learned one word every day for a year, that's 365 words you can speak in a year. And that's all it takes. It's just one little step at a time. And sometimes people come over from my family and member too, and they can't speak English. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what it means. And then they want to play with the dog. I said, you can't play with my dog. My dog doesn't understand English. I said, if you want him to come over, you say, Juguwe. If you want him to leave, Jigalasi. If you want him to go out the door, Duwe. And I said, that's so easy. I said, even just to say a dog is alamuj. And I said, and you said it's hard to say it? I said, do you know what a cat is? They said, no. I said, I said, you can say it. It's one of our hardest words in Mi'kmaq. And I said, I bet you could say it. They said, what? I said, meowch. So, I get a kick out of them because anybody can say meowch. And they say they can't speak or say anything in Mi'kmaq. And there's no way of saying it wrong. And people are so scared, the kids are so scared to be laughed at. Well, we all went through that with English. English is my second language. I have a hard time even speaking English because I have to think twice. I got to think it in Mi'kmaq before it comes out in English. So I find like I stutter, I'm lost, and I have a hard time with it. But I'm my children and my grandchildren, they all speak Mi'kmaq. I wouldn't have it any other way. And people say, well, people from Membertou don't speak Mi'kmaq. Well, I was from Membertou. And most of the people I knew spoke Mi'kmaq. If they didn't, they understood it. It's just that they lost it between English coming out so much and all the new games and boards and the TV and everything is so plentiful that we forgot to bring whatever we had. And we have to carry our log, all our stuff we learned. We were supposed to have like medicine bags from the time you were born, from your hair, your tooth, your belly button. You have all these things. Your parents keep all these things. And when you're old enough, they take it, they give it to you if you want, or they can bury it. So your feet will be always stepped on. It'll be flat right on the ground and know where you're going and what you're going to do with your life. Do you remember the times you had fun?
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Because it's laughter and fun and joking around with people you didn't even know. Like, you think you know your grandmother, huh? But you don't know your grandma until you're playing a game with her or her aunt or something, and they're going crazy over everything. And you remember those parts, and then you remember the game.
Thank you.
You're welcome.